Have a great day. How to listen and use vocabulary fluently like a native. The key to success is practice, practice all the time. Let English sounds fill your space naturally with podcasts. Make it a habit to listen to podcasts on a variety of topics anytime. And you will remember how to use vocabulary in everyday conversations.
Washington, D.C. Tourists from all over the world visit Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. Is D.C. a state? No, it isn't. What exactly is D.C.? D.C. means District of Columbia. The District of Columbia is a special government district. More than 700,000 people live in Washington, D.C. Washington doesn't have factories. Government and tourism are the main businesses of Washington. Washington doesn't have tall buildings like other big cities. Many Washington workers don't live in Washington. They live in nearby states, Virginia and Maryland. Washington has a good subway system. It connects Washington to nearby cities in Virginia and Maryland. Tourists come to see the White House, where the president lives. They also want to see the Capitol. The Capitol, the building where Congress meets, is on a hill. Senators and representatives from each state work on Capitol Hill. They make the country's laws. Besides government buildings, Washington also has many interesting museums and monuments. The Smithsonian Institution has 17 museums in Washington. Tourists don't pay to see government buildings and museums. But people need tickets to reserve a time to see many places because they are crowded. A trip to Washington, D.C. is an enjoyable and educational experience.
Times Square. I live in New York City. New York has so many things to see and do. I especially love Times Square. Times Square is a top tourist attraction in the United States. Times Square is always a busy place. More than 300,000 pedestrians pass through Times Square every day. It has hotels, restaurants, theaters, and shopping. Every night, visitors come to see an amazing display of electronic billboards. New Year's Eve is especially wonderful at Times Square. Every year, New Yorkers and tourists come together at Times Square to count down to the new year. About 1 million people wait for the Waterford crystal ball to drop, marking the beginning of the new year. The ball always drops at exactly midnight. I usually go to Times Square with my friends to see the ball drop. I never drive there because parking is so expensive. We always take the subway. Sometimes it's very cold on New Year's Eve. If the temperature is below 10 degrees, we usually stay home and watch the ball drop on TV. Times Square is also near the theater district in New York. I hardly ever go to the theater because it's so expensive. Some theater tickets cost more than $200. It's often hard to get a ticket for the popular shows. The tickets are almost always sold out. I love New York City. Tourists from all over the world love it too.